Indeed, indeed. Avengers Revengers is back from PEL. That was one of the worst ones. But now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time. It's game number 1 of the weekly final here, as our top 16 teams from Weekly Survival will go head-to-head. First place at the end of 10 games with $25,000, as well as puts themselves ahead here when it comes to the tournament as a whole. A huge thank you to our sponsors as we get into things. Toomey, Perrier, Intel, as we get going. It is time as we head over to Hypoc and Pansy for all the action.
Thank you so much. And yes, of course, if you are just tuning in, this is, of course, PGIS presented by Intel, where the gaming happens. And we finally have the game on our hands. It was a bit of a long start there, wasn't it, Poc? But finally, we get to have a little look at PUBG.
It's a joy to listen to the boys for that long. I make the most of it every single time, Lauren. I don't know what you mean.
Kiss ass. Absolute kiss ass. Not having any of that. Love them to pieces, but I wanted to see the action all that week building up to the weekend. Now we're here. We get to see what it looks like in those super settings. The traditional format that we all know and love. The mean Joe kills actually do equate to points, meaning prizes. So we're back into the fights matter and early scuffles can happen. Those full sends to the circle and the center may not be so viable now, but still, looking at the lobby, where do your eyes go here, Hypop? What are you looking for this time?
Straight towards Leonis, funnily enough. Looking like Oath and Liquid actually sharing. Across East and West, there wasn't really a major overlap. Elsewhere, I mean, actually, yeah, looking up at K7 and Virtus Pro as well, but I have to see if any of these actually turn out into any early game scraps. Kurt seems to have got himself a little bit lost in. Again, a bit of a funky plane, so a lot of the map really unavailable here. I see Kurt actually sending out some VSS shots early on. That's a throwback, actually. That's a PGC throwback. The VSS at Hacienda. Anybody who remembers will appreciate that comment.
How do you remember that far back? I literally can't remember yesterday.
Oh, come on. That was it was like one of the most talked about things. It was the Hacienda hot drop. Kurt with a VSS. No? Surely I'm not the only. Somebody in chat has got to back me up. Somebody's got to back me up.
This is why you're the analyst and I am shout word loud person. You know, different roles, different looks. But again, yeah, I think hot drops are going to become quite prevalent. I'm not so worried about Miramar as such, if I'm honest, because as much as, yes, you probably will have your preference, you see a lot of kind of those backup drops are pretty polarizing and you can still kind of work them in even at a disadvantage coming into the circle. I don't think it's going to be a huge problem here. Erengel's a different beast altogether. I mean, that's a little different for me. I think that's where we're going to have to really pay attention, but it's 2 Miramar, 3 Erengel, if I'm not mistaken, in that order. So I feel as though we should have a little bit of a nice, quiet's the wrong word, probably a slower warm-up, maybe a nice welcome party. You know, it's the afternoon. I've only had one coffee so far. You know, I'll build up. I'll get another soon. I'll get a coffee by Erengel, I think. That's probably the right choice. What do you reckon?
Well, I mean, you make an interesting point. Another Des touched on this as well. It's kind of almost like I don't want to say like a full meta reset, but obviously teams need to make a completely different approach now, right? This is we don't have the, swaps around lobbies like Froz was saying, but teams still need to establish themselves here. So if we're going to see a hot drop or any pressure early game, it's going to be kind of territory control, fending a team away from car spawns or anything like that. Again, how much scrims are going to play into a part of this, and the research factor is something that is always prevalent in PUBG. But I'm expecting a slow start on Miramar. Erangel, I actually don't think it will be the same. I'm with you. I think there's going to be a little more madness once these guys warm up a little bit, a little bit of momentum flowing.
Well, it's about that mindset kind of reset, right? Because you have it's the ability to switch gears from one game mode. You had 2 days off, kind of. I mean, these guys will be watching tape, they'll be practicing. It's not days off, but it's not playing the live game, right? So for them, it's how do we prepare ourselves properly coming back into this? Because we saw teams playing with, scraps, less than ideal setups, different weaponry, different positioning. Like, I mean, it was a completely different looking game. So mentally, they have to somehow recalibrate, get back to the fact of what they can have in front of them. It's a huge switch up with the space of 2 days.
Well, it's interesting, actually, if we talk about the kind of psychology of that, right? Sonic's on the screen right now, perfect example of that. We were talking about the confidence plays from them, the momentum. They're a team heavily reliant on that, right? So having that reset, again, if they don't kind of start with the correct foot forwards in game 1 or 2, you could say, that I think is a concern for the weekly finals. Whereas you look at a team like FaZe, they're kind of they've been in this situation, right? They've done the last game qualifier and come through and have to reset and say, right, guys, that was our last chance. We made it. Now we actually need to turn up. So it's interesting to kind of compare that between some of these teams.
Yeah, and of course, my mind needs to switch as well, because I'm used to a very quiet first 2-3 circles. I mean, we've already had a couple of shots, a little bit of posturing. With the circle where it is, the centralized point is north of Los Leones. So the kind of, I guess, prime cut of the stake would be somewhere towards the north. You're seeing Sonics over there, TSM, Liquid, Oath, Infantry, and a Freak of Freaks. And again, we have to remember, we didn't see many Korean teams looking great early on. No. At least in the weekly format. But now, once they made it through to the weekend, eventually, Genji got there, Freak of Freaks got there. It was late in the day, but they made it through. Now you have to kind of recalibrate your consideration of these teams as well, because they're exceedingly strong when it comes to this format.
Indeed. Actually, a lot of teams going there. Again, Sonic's obviously coming up towards, that's their go-to hill. You can actually see Oath and Liquid, that split I was kind of talking about across Leonis. Actually, pretty much both in vertical lines down either side. Actually, look at this, Kurt. Gonna get pulled up on by all of Furia here, and he is solo at the compound.
Yeah, and that little bit of a handrail just absolutely did him in, but now he's in danger, and Furia aren't going to slow down. They don't need to be passive anymore. This kill is fine. This gets him a point, and PGI.S can't do much. He has to back away, find a bit of safety from those grenades, and he can't. Rusty's arrow waiting on the wings, going to just deliver the bullet from the mini. And Fury are going to get that flush easily with just the molly on its own. Shoot to kill. Going to get at least plucked away for now. Not able to hold this kind of two... I don't want to say 1-1, but it kind of was, because Alo wasn't quite with him either. These guys are quite split apart, which, again, a little sketchy here.
No, and again, with a position like this, you got to assume if you're going to split it, there's going to be a team that comes in from a much worse off position in the circle, and they're going to be clumped up. They're going to be as 4. So running these early splits, it's always a talking point in PUBG. But this time around, Kurt not able to fend off Fury and will lose his life for it. I mean, they still have a decent spot. I'd like to see them regroup, but if you know anything about SDK, that they're all about that early control. They like spreading the way we just saw them. So it's weird actually to see Kurt not really have a contingency, not have a get out of jail free card almost to escape the compound.
Again, if you're going to pull those kind of wider splits, even in a 2-2, for example, if you do see a crash coming in that you simply... I mean, he didn't even see it coming in, it felt like. He was unable to do much of a stand, unable to defend the compound, no peacocking, no ability to kind of keep control. So, I mean, again, if that's kind of the downside of the compound you're in, that you simply can be kind of encroached upon, and it's gone from bad to worse, that's another player knocked right now. So Tiggleton's going to be happy with that one. Nice little, signed, sealed delivery. Doesn't care that it's NA now. There is no love lost between these two. This is winner just pushing forward. Kills are everything. And look how much more people are kind of actively looking for fights here. This is why I love the super settings. People are way more proactive. Now, they can't get the flush on this, but they're going to punish that cross if they can catch a glimpse. But luckily, they'll defilade to run across.
When... full well, Sonic seeing that name in the kill feed is going to ignite a fire under them. Savior having a little trouble over here. Looks like he's just dropped out of the Bronco. Crazy sending some long distance shots over that way. It's going to be difficult for them to find that. Yeah, I think they've managed to break line of sight behind the Bronco. Oh, actually, he's still getting tagged up in there.
4 a.m. Hello.
That's a heartbreaker.
I mean, it's rough, isn't it? Because you can just keep spamming away. 5 more bullets to go through. I don't know if any more connected. But again, 4 a.m., bit of a curious one. They were very aggressive and they were hot dropping DA. I mean, we had some real moments there. Zinan, roll your mind back to him on top of Hospital, having a fantastic performance, and Heroes, maybe feeling better than sticking around and falling foul like old PGI.S did. So probably the right choice here for Virtus.pro.
Indeed, he has lost the tire, but again, not too far away from his teammates, so not expecting anything to come of that. Again, Sonic's pretty short. We do get a chance to actually take a look back at this. Ooh, nice little 2-tap there from Tig. Again, expecting Sonics to hold on to this one with all they've got. They'd love playing this area early on. It's their go-to. You can see H1 kind of flexing out elsewhere. He's looking for information on rotations, anything else that he might be able to catch wind of. And just leaves Tiggleton to roam around there, do what he does best, just spam mini shots in all 4 directions.
Now that's a problem for Tab. Middle of the open. Fantastic moves.
Rusty.
And Senya. Senya's on cover. Fantastic. Rusty's era, not quite Cold's era today, looking a little rustier, less ice cold.
Oh no.
Oh, so just
It's
save the
9
day,
minutes
honestly.
40 seconds in. It's already.
Shut up! Don't, Hypoc, don't. I need this. You know, it's been a long week. Yeah, I survived the week. This is my reward. All right? Yeah, like these teams.
That's fair. That's fair.
Anyway.
Ooh.
Oh. Hello, is Player Unknown in chat? Have we had a little Player Unknown circle work here?
This is ugly, actually. Like,
don't say that. It's great. Don't say it's ugly. How dare you?
Okay, I have to speak very carefully. I'm prone to the circle curse. Again, you haven't had to deal with this. Cast in North America, it's always me. Always me.
You call
Even
this a
happened when I
curse?
came and did it to you. Yeah, are you kidding me? Look at Leonis. Leonis takes up 80% of this.
Yeah, how cool is that going to be? In a city fight, observers sweating, trying to catch the kills with verticality involved. Oh, it's a disaster, but for me, it's great. I love a bit of it. I love to see players slightly disgruntled. It brings me deep joy. Every team is now piling in. It's time to get towards Los Leones. Wait till you see the map. It is the mass migration. Everyone is just flying on through. You're going to see people trying to take up sticks wherever they can. Shoot to kill not far away from Oath now. They can pull it up. Relo's a little isolated, but he's got backup just on the kind of 2-story on the back lines. I guess you got it a 3-story roof access and all that jazz. Shoot to kill, though, can hold for now, but they're in between TSM. But Toolins just gets drive-by. See you later. Tingleton just gives him a little, like, passing message and carries on forward.
There's so many teams trying to migrate into the north side here. Obviously, Sonic's trying to make their way in actually on the northwest here. They're going to get themselves to the concrete, but again, this is difficult here. If you opt to not go into the city, it becomes increasingly difficult later on. Obviously, circle dependent. But at this point, I mean, the main priority, keeping 4 up, getting somewhere, some form of safety. See SDK sandwiched in between Oath and TSM, and actually K7 coming in on the north side as well. So this is it. This is the sort of thing I'm talking about. Savior, no. He's actually driving right the way through the courtyard of the warehouses here. Uncivil, going to pick up a freebie out of the vehicle. Savior's woes continue in this game. He only just escaped with his life the previous time. And actually elsewhere, another member of K7 going to fall forever, picks that one up. So this is the problem here with some of these mad dash rotations. If you're not as a group and you don't really have anything to pull up to, you can end up just getting picked apart one by one.
Oh, I'm smiling. I'm seeing early fights. I'm seeing deaths below like the 20-minute marker. I'm seeing city circles. Oh, this brings me deep, deep joy. Now, outside of that, though, we have to look towards where the circle likely lands. I mean, it's actually pretty divisive, considering it doesn't often end slap bang in the middle, but considering how much of Los Leones is centralized, it will be kind of keeping some position on this relatively late game. It should move away eventually, but, you know, like Sims did from casting with me. He just left me. He's in chat. I just had to, you know, have a little go at him. But beyond that, though, I also want to highlight that well, to be fair, I was gonna have a chat about this, but the chat was saying they wanted some codes, Hypoc, I think. So should we put it on the screen? What do you think?
Coupon?
Now, I have been casting with Poro, and he's been kind of like selling it every time. Could you give that a go?
You want me to do? I can't really do the American accent, but I'll go for it. Guys, get ready with the notepad. Actually, no, you can't even copy and paste it. It's a little bit of a cheat, but ST5, G4, H3, W4, LJ6. I'm sure by now it's already gone. I didn't even need to say it up. I know you guys are ready for that as it comes up. But
yeah.
Actually, circle shifted again. This is where it gets concerning for me. Okay. And yes, I love it, but I'm just concerned because it's game 1. It's game 1.
Leones. Have at it. All right, Furia just in the buildings. Okay, so the Brazilians have taken the compound that they desire the most. FAZE, kind of on the slightly more construction side of things in the industrial area, just having to back away themselves. Losing out on Gustav and no ability to trade. Welcome to the city, folks. You better be careful where you run. Now, Afrika Freak's going to send it in towards the outskirts, just kind of pick up some of those industrial buildings, but it looks like Korean action's about to happen. Gen G pulling up at the wrong time. Ansi is already on the ground, M4 on the hand, not going to let it slip. Eth's out of there. Gen G need to reconsider where they want to go on this.
do indeed look for another one. But again, if they can keep 3 alive and get to something inside, again, it's just finding a spot that's going to be in the next circle here, because you know there's always going to be somebody rotating in. It's going to lose numbers. Actually, Na'Vi look like they're going to try and reposition. Again, just look at the minimap. Look at the minimap right now. There's so many teams getting condensed down.
Yeah, boy.
And the problem is, Esther's literally role-playing right now. He's driving through the streets. He's observing all traffic regulations.
Signaling. He's really doing quite well. And they've actually made it into a decent compound. I mean, they're fine. I don't want to say they're great off, but...
Oh my god.
It's so good. This is perfect. This is so good. Okay, so let's talk about the teams kind of on the outskirts here. You have Liquid kind of sitting towards the western side, with Sonics out there as well. Southern side, more Na'Vi, FAZE, AAA. Eastern side, you've got a Freak of Freaks, Infantry, North, 4 AM. Virtus Pro running each other over. Don't worry about them. They're not even in the circle yet. They're taking their time on the outskirts. So, again, whichever way you slice this, brutal lobby.
Yeah, and the problem is some of these teams that, and again, there's obviously a time frame on being able to rotate in. There's got to be a point where if you're that late, you have to commit to playing edge. But the problem becomes if it keeps centering up, crossing the streets on foot or anything, or taking a vehicle is just a death sentence. Now with this number of players already set up and established on top of rooftops, there's 9,000 windows to worry about. It's so difficult to come into a circle like this late.
It certainly is, but sure, the wonderful thing that all PUBG players do is hoard smokes, so you can cross those streets if you commit those lovely 5 smokes that these players have, for example. So they'll be fine. You just got to use utility, like every other game. Don't be a PUBG player, be a viewer right now, Hypoc. We need enjoyment in this. You need to find that joy in your life here. I do like where Liquid currently are. That has been a decent position in the past, kind of over the cliffside. I feel as though this has got to go towards...
No, but see, that's the best possible thing that could happen. That's the best possible thing that could have happened.
That is true. I mean, it's only VP who have to kind of shuffle in, so you should be fine.
And yeah, and they are going to have a slice again. A couple of those teams we saw early on, STK, Oath, TSM, I think up towards those north warehouses. They've kind of cleared a little bit of a path, but this is going to be mad. We have, I mean, with 58 players alive, everybody except VP inside this circle, or at least has a slice in this circle now. This is just it's going to become a death match. Literally death matching in Los Leones with 58 players.
We've just had a game mode that didn't reward kills. Now we have deathmatch.
Yes.
Yeah? This is perfect. This is exactly what I want. I like where TSM are. They've got some nice high ground to this, a very defendable area. Again, you've got to think about who your neighbors are. You've got Oath just beside TSM, but they're looking more towards infantry in the north. So again, it's kind of very divided by mostly the roads, because that is that open ground that you'll have to traverse. Those smokes will have to be invested earlier, potentially, than holding late game. Now look at this. Sweep and clear coming out from them. Yeah, they're pushing up towards the construction area. They're kind of shuffling south in towards Liquid territory. Now, Liquid aren't playing 2'd up here. They're very split. But Mexi's got a good bit of vision on this one, but carefully does it, spraying in, trying to make that connection with the mini. But it's Tiggleton to try and get towards the very foot of this building. Now, the problem for James is he can't look directly down, right? That's not going to be the case. So he needs the rest of Liquid to help him out here, because he really doesn't want to share this.
No, but I think fall damage-wise, he could drop onto that canopy below, but whether or not Sonics commit to the full clear here. Again, James, if he can hold on to... Actually, he's going to opt to come down. Maybe get a little bit aggressive. He caught the feet of Shrimsy there. Oh, my God.
Let's see if he's spicy or if he's mild. Actually, yeah. Come on, James. Let's see what you got here. A little bit of a little tickle on the nade, nothing too much. Smoked out on the stairwell. He's trying to cut this place up into several pieces so he can maybe work around it. Decides to go towards the roof, let the rest of his team to play into this. He needs to be careful, though. There are players with better elevation. Exactly. Jeeves! Oh my God, he's made it. He's out of there. He's dipped out, but can he make it away from the building? I don't know if he can cross anywhere to safety. It looks like Sonic's clearing this as they go. You can see how careful they are. Lovely utility usage, flashing in, clearing the top floor here. They can't find him. And while this happens, James makes a great escape. Look at this guy.
That could have been terrible as well. Actually, Shrimsy finds him in the dump truck there, seeing the kill feed. He did actually find that knock, and wow, that's really unfortunate there. James just taking a little too long to clear the area. Clib not going to be able to do anything about this now. Again, I think an audio cue. I was about to say H-Wing kind of isolated himself down on the ground floor, but that's the kind of anchor position we expect to see him in. He will get cleared out there, so good work from the Sonics. Taking control of that building elsewhere. Seems to be popping off of the warehouses now. Look at the north side of the we're outside of the circle now.
Exactly. Once this now moves in, you're going to have it kind of implode on each other, and then holding the line, shoot to kill, Oath, and TSM all on the other side. So this battle is whoever walks away with, I guess, the best fighting chance, because they're going to take lumps out of each other. Already 4 a.m. though, they're a scary team in these scenarios. Infantry looked great in a team fight, but that came in super late on Erangel when we had that melted power-ish circle. So again, we haven't seen too much from them beyond that. They were very quiet before, so I wonder how they're going to fare coming into this, for example, where they will be forced to somewhat fight here, at least on this cross. Now, they did lose out on 9, which was, I believe, the youngest player, if they listened correctly. But for now, it's crazy just piling in shots, and most of those are hitting, but very lightly, it seems, where they have certainly done some good damage. Virtus Pro going to try and skirt around the edge of this.
Again, though, they're going to be pulling up on the back door of this Sonics and Liquid. Right, obviously, Circle did pull down to the southwest, so they're going to have an opportunity to wrap, but they need to be quick about it. That Circle's already moving. They are on the slow side, but a little bit weakened already, losing 1 player. The 4-man strong Sonics and 3-man of Liquid just ahead of that, and they're not going to have any information pulling into the side of the circle, Lauren.
So here's the fun thing, right? We'll talk about this, I guess, bigger picture. Teams will be able to survive late because there's a lot of compounds to actually kind of survive into, right? Like, there's a lot of hard cover to play into. So it's going to come down to, will teams crash into it and take it like Sonics did? Super aggressive, confident, doing that against Liquid to get themselves in a good position. That, to me, is terrifying. But now they're somewhat on the outskirts, not necessarily in trouble. They don't have to necessarily move, but they are going to have to deal with the likes of Virtus Pro, who shuffled from that north to west to south position, and now they have to deal with them coming their way, where maybe they would have liked to have considered their next option in front of them.
Yeah, VP do have a little bit of space to move into, but it's going to take a lot of utility to cross this area. You can already see the Molotov coming through. I think that was Tiggleton actually from the top window there, so I have to keep an eye. Tiggleton didn't actually just fire a knock elsewhere. Infantry now, tanking a lot of blue, actually. Not there, Longskirt, got to be careful. Is he going to have time? I don't think he's got time to stick that first aid. He's going to fall as well. No. He will.
Unfortunate there. The rest of infantry, this is going to be brutal. This was all the teams on the outskirts. We said it. Now, I want to look at towards 4 a.m., see how they get on going in. Virtus Pro continue to push towards Sonics, and you can see how well that's going. They have been met by sheer force. Now, 4 a.m. need to make their way forward. It's shoot to kill they have to tussle with. Now, shoot to kill have the perfect line of sight on 4 a.m., and 4 a.m. have the blue on their back, so there's only so long they can do this. They will have to make their play forward. Smokes will litter the battlefield, but as do nades, as do Molotovs.
Utility.
Nothing is easy here. This is perfect work. The line of mollies in that smoke is going to make it incredibly difficult for 4 a.m. to run forward. Forever's going to give it a damn good go, but as soon as he gets away from the smoke for just a second, he's dead. This looks like 4 a.m. are going to be held back by the blue by shoot to kill.
Crazy and Lou. I guess the last 2 are alive. You could say, yeah, Forever actually fallen there. So in terms of, I mean, damage control, actually getting 2 bodies inside it gives them a fighting chance. Crazy going to try and hold the angle a little bit, but advantageous circle. SDK will actually go for the clear here. Unseveral Wolf, he's knocked his teammate. Alo's down.
It's a bit of a mess, but Luke's whiffed it as well, a little too close to the wall. The barrel just dips up, and now Crazy's
no!
Oh, that's a fumble. Oh, that's a huge mess. What on earth just happened, shoot to kill? It all fell to pieces. They had 2 players to clear by 1 broken bit of wall who barely have gear on them right now. No helmets. Oh dear, that's a tragedy in the making. Now beyond that, I think I saw a knock on towards Sonics as well, but I think they got the player back up. I think they disengaged away from Liquid, looking towards the minimap. I'm seeing them kind of just slightly on the north side of the road there. So they might have just gone, okay, let's take ourselves away from this fight. So let's check in on the eastern side now, because that's where the circle's moved away from. A Freak of Freaks, one of the compounds. On the other side, TSM. I think TSM lost a player earlier on, so they are going to be operating with 3, if I'm not mistaken here.
Yep. Jumping on board with Na'Vi down on the south side. Again, they were playing split. As soon as this circle even committed into Los Leones, looking for some of those rotation kills on the outside, and now it becomes a factor that there's not an awful lot of space for them to move into. Oath, you can see Snake as his oversight's fantastic on top of this scaffolding, or construction, sorry. He's got good sight lines down towards the remnants of 4 a.m. They actually managed to cross the road here. That's taking a fight with infantry. 9 Gonna pick up Crazy. You see Miracle looking for the third party on this as well. So just one man left for 4 AM. It's Louis. Pop that nade out. Ooh, finds a lot of damage. 9 doesn't actually fall though. Snakers picks it up for him.
Oh no! Snakers? Ugh, but there could be a revive at least, but I mean, mad dash for it. I kinda love it. Yeah, screw it. I mean, you're only knocked, right? Like, you're fine. Get back up on your feet, boy. Get back into the battle. We've got a Freak of Freaks now trying to deal with TSM's bombardment. Nades galore. A Freak of Freaks are gonna push this. I love that. Aggressive play, but the angle works for Rello. He gets himself up on top of construction, looks down and just sees that pixel out of place. Easy pickup for him. And now Oath just raining nades. A Freak of Freaks trying to make the run for it. TSM gone. Down in 13th. Quick little flush as well. Nice play from Oath. Coming online here. This high ground paying dividends.
Yeah, actually, I'd be interested to see how much of that is available in the next circle. Again, it's only going to give them a minute or so. And you can see Reload. I mean, Snakers did hop off, but it looks like he's climbing back up again. And see now, last man standing. Here you go. This is the move Na'Vi decided to make up onto the backside of the mosque, and Circle's going to pull away from them again. Na'Vi again got to do some leapfrogging, but look at the east side now. FaZe actually in a really dominant position at the roadside.
Yeah, FaZe kind of were quietly in this. I think they had a player lost early on, relatively early on. So again, I think they're playing with 3, but you're right, those positions are everything. Na'Vi, you're going to try and keep this doorway safe. You've got Tab on the other side too. AAA, I mean, they made an impression. They came in, won the game, basically went out. That was it. They barely got to see him play. And now Tab barely got to see Svit come around the corner. Nice little shot there as Volley Bear waiting in the back lines. And AAA just take away Na'Vi step by step. Senya's not loving this at all.
Yeah, actually, you're going to knock Janku with that first nade. The follow-up is going to do a lot of damage. Maybe get both of these flushes, actually. Or at least a little bit of damage. Senya getting tagged up from distance as well. One of the TSG players. Look at Mexi, though. Mexi's coming up to third party. Just trying to find some of these kill points.
Yeah, Clib's there too. They're all coming over. Okay. I guess, again, this is where the points actually really matter. This is a huge moment for them. They need to get this clean, but Senya's going to make this tricky. But there's so many... Oh, Mexi, that's not ideal. Fluffing the flash with limited amounts of time to play with. You'd really want to get that right. Try and clear as you go. 2 flashes in hand now. Let's take this compound. Senya looks down, tries to avoid the flash. Gonna have to peek back up soon. And there on the other side, Ibby, that's one. Can't convert the second. So kill comes in. Great trades. Just good timing, good spacing between each other. And the res should come in. I don't think anyone else is going to push that liquid fight. So this is where we start looking towards kind of, Oath's position towards the northeast side. You've got a couple of remnants here and there. And you can see some people trying to play this out a little quietly.
Yeah, they got to be really careful here. PGI.S obviously getting forced into that corner by the nades. Completely unaware of what's on the other side of this wall. And Oath actually going to make moves right the way past. You can see actually Liquid now looking to sweep along the south side.
That's so open. There is not much territory there. Yeah, this is not great. You had 4 smokes in your pocket and used none. Liquid are down and dead. You can't be making those crosses. That area, that compound is super open. Just so many lines of sight. If you have smokes, you've got to commit to them if you're going to make that much territory gain. But now, though, we are seeing just mad fights in these buildings. Chairs with a great one, but he can't get the second. Big trade coming back in for Triumphant. Now, K7, I think this is the final player for K7, if I'm not mistaken. So he ain't moving for love nor money unless he truly has to.
I'm going to try and stick the first aid kit, but again, very difficult through phase 7. Well, actually, phase 8 now has posted. He's going to get in. Actually, the footstep gave it away. PGI.S was expected it, but he will fall to blue. So no kill point going out to Oath, but they already have 5. So not necessarily the end of the world for him. Gen G now, they're going to get aggressive. But actually, it's Oath once again. Belfast in the back. We'll find
they're in a
Onyx.
Belting spot. I mean, they've still got to play a little further forward, right? 30 seconds. But if they're fragging on the way, I just don't know their utility. I'm seeing no smokes on one. That could be their only downfall here. But, okay, pick your poison. Do you go Furia, who's well-established in compounds, or do you go to the Sonics out towards the kind of western side? I don't know which one's the better option. Oath have done wonderfully, kept 4 alive, held really good territory, but this might be the end of their run. Pio, my. Quite impressive. I'd love to keep my eyes on Oath at some point soon, once they start making that move, because this is going to be so scary. Are Genji actually clearing through all these compounds?
I think they are. They're trying to regress towards FaZe. Lou's still standing, actually. Last man for 4 angry men. He's going to be able to cross in. No chance whatsoever. Balefrost will pick him up with the barrel. And now Sonic's on the move as well. This is over on the northwest side of the circle. Look at this, just the other side of the
Furia.
wall with Furia. Snakers has knocked himself from falling again.
He's having a terrible time. Just, you know, gravity, probably his biggest enemy, but he has gone flush this time, so no easy way forward. But Oath and Sonic's looking like they're about to clash here. This is a scary little NA battle going on, and then you've got Necro just in the middle of it. Now, bear in mind, Sonic's have put down so many smokes, so much utility, flashes to hand. Rello barely sees a pixel, but he finds it. That's Tilton gone, good stuff, but does he continue to push? Flashing where he last saw the body. You can see the flashes coming back out. They are trying to survive here, create new bits of cover. Pack Caps, though, finding Raspu. That's the Furia now gone. This is a bloody battle, and Necro could be the undoing. He's not landed it as clean as he'd want. Mime has gone down, though, and he still stands. Necro, 60 HP, stimmed up, still doing well, keeping Furia safe. He is their front man, and Sonics are gone. They could not withstand the fight against Furia and Oath at the same time.
Right, H-Win's tucked himself inside the wall. He's actually still standing here, so Necro up on top. I think picked off some of his teammates. H-Win finally has to show his hand here. That's going to give his position away.
Up? I think Genji are moving up towards them. This is insanity from them. They're going towards this fight. I think they're looking for the kills. Flash comes in. H-Win is in danger, tries to dip back around. I don't know how they're going to survive this. Genji pushed the road. Necro's still doing damage. H-Win's still there. What? H-Win's still alive. I thought Sonics were done for, but he somehow managed to live during that. Bit of a nade.
He found Necro as well.
What? H-Win, how are you doing this? How is he alive through all of this?
No way. No
Oh my
way.
God, H-Win. He did so well, but he just got found at the end. Rello just about found him. Sonics go down, but my, oh my, how did that happen? And how are FaZe in this? FaZe just appear through the buildings at the end, and now it's just Inonix up against the remnants of FaZe. And he's going to surely be dead to the blue here. I don't see a way out of this. He's trying to find cover, but FaZe have his number. FaZe just scratched through in last place in the final chance to get through, and now they come out and win game one.